Hey, what's poppin', everybody? On my way to work, gonna change some lines that I originally had planned. Did some different, looking at some stuff, and I like some other lines a little bit better than I originally was. So let's go ahead and recap yesterday, because we're 100% transparent, and we're gonna always talk about it. It was a horrendous night last night. Last night was one of those nights where I felt really, really good about the plays, and then just didn't play out. Obviously, the big one is that LaMelo got injured. I seem to have a knack to do that, to pick players that get hurt. It's like probably the 10th plus time this season I've picked a player that got injured. It sucks more because he got injured just from his own player. He was trying to contest a shot, and then PJ Washington is landing on his leg. That's just unfortunate. Also, like the third time this season LaMelo Ball's got injured. Dennis Smith Jr. came in and had like 9 points and 7 assists. So it crushed the same game parlay for us as well, because we had a same game parlay with LaMelo Ball, because Alfred Sengun absolutely balled out. So it would have crushed the same game parlay. It just didn't happen there for us. So you have to think that Dennis Smith Jr. put up that kind of stat line in that short amount of time, that LaMelo Ball would have continued to have a really good game. So that's unfortunate there, LaMelo Ball. Miles Turner was just an absolute, I don't even know what happened with Miles Turner. The Pacers got down 1-17. They didn't score a bucket till about 4 minutes into the game, like a field goal, and then the Thunder just absolutely ran away with them early. Miles Turner did not record a major stat, a point, rebound, or assist until 6 minutes and 10 seconds into the second quarter. Like, that's just brutal. He just didn't perform. He just didn't perform, and that's just bad. It's just a bad, awful game from Miles Turner. And then don't even get me started. Jimmy Butler was probably, in hindsight, not a good play. Everybody was coming back. Lowry, Hero, Embiid, Adebayo. I knew that was a factor going into it, but I still thought that of the defensive matchups, I thought the best one was going to be Jimmy Butler versus his defender. It had 17 and didn't play the entire fourth quarter because of the blowout. Only played 27 minutes. So obviously blowouts and injuries are the two things that impact player props the most. So that's kind of what happened to us last night. Brutal. People have been raking me over the coals on Instagram and stuff lately, but that's just kind of how it goes. I know I haven't connected on an underdog slip lately, but it's going to come eventually. Everything that could go possibly wrong for us recently has been, and so eventually something's going to go right for us. Let's get it, boys. If anything, if you guys are fading me, you guys are smacking your picks. So, all right, with that being said, today's lock of the day is going to be coming from the Philadelphia versus Portland game. We're going to go ahead and take Joel Embiid today as the lock of the day today, over 32.5 points. The Portland Trailblazers give up the second most points per game in the NBA to centers, and they're taking on the best scoring center in the entire NBA today in Joel Embiid. The last 10 games, the starting centers that the Portland Trailblazers have played, 8 out of 10 of them have hit their overs. I went back and looked at every single line that these centers had versus this Portland team. 8 out of the 10 hit their overs. The only guys that didn't hit the overs were Kevon Looney and Isaiah Stewart. Two guys that obviously aren't even really scorers. Every other guy they play guys like Jokic. They give up 36 to Jokic. They give up 23 to Christian Wood. Even Dwight Powell hit his points line. They gave up the points to Dwight Powell, who's not a big-time scorer. Everyone's been absolutely feasting against this Portland defense. Also has the tied for the closest spread of the day at a 1.5 point spread and a 233 total, so a high enough total that I like to mess with those points a little bit. So look for Embiid to once again have another big night tonight against the Portland Trailblazers defense that gives up a ton of points to center. So give me Joel Embiid tonight as the lock of the day, over 32.5 points. All right, guys, with our second play of the day, we're going to be heading over to the Toronto versus Minnesota game. We're going to go ahead and take Anthony Edwards today under his points total today. Not posted yet because of the status to Rudy Gobert, so they're not sure. They haven't posted any of those lines yet. I'm expecting it to be around 24.5, maybe 23.5, possibly even 25.5 range. If it's anything more than 24 points, he has never hit the over versus Toronto Raptors in his entire career. He's even had some games where he hasn't even hit double digits. I think earlier this season, we did take the under on his three-pointers versus the Toronto Raptors earlier this season, if I'm not mistaken. Great defensive team. The Minnesota Timberwolves are sitting as a 5-point dog right now with Rudy Gobert status up in the air. So I'm sure if he ends up getting ruled out, that spread will go up to maybe 6.5. So has the potential of being a blowout game today. The Minnesota Timberwolves have been a really bad team lately. Really on the season have been a really bad team. Anthony Edwards is one of those guys super inconsistent, taking on a really good defense today in the Minnesota Timberwolves. So I expect them to have a tough out tonight for Anthony Edwards. So we're going to take Anthony Edwards under his point total today as our second play of the day. All right, so with that being said, there won't be a graphic right here because there's no Anthony Edwards line, but today's two picks for our perfect two pick is going to be Joel Embiid over 32.5 points and Anthony Edwards under his point total, whatever it ends up coming out at. And we're just going to go with these two plays. If there's a third play that ends up coming out by the end of the day that I really love, I'll rock with it and make it 3 slip. But Killian Hayes was a guy I was kind of thinking about. I guess they're going to Paris today, and Killian Hayes is kind of from the area, so maybe expect a good game from Killian Hayes tonight. But I ended up just going with these 2 picks that I know are going to hit tonight. Got to connect on a slip, got to connect on a pick here. I know a lot of people on Instagram have been raking me over the coals, man. The way that we do it on this channel, man, we're not going to hit every single day. It's not going to happen. We do parlays on Underdog, so parlays, historically, in sports books, parlays only hit like 13% of the time or something like that. We hit at a much higher rate than that. On the season, we've been good the entirety of the season, just on a little bit of a cold spell right now to start the year, but that's how it goes sometimes. So that being said, guys, just the 2 picks today. Let's go ahead and lock in. Let's knock out these picks. I'll have a same game parlay or an NBA parlay out by the end of the day. But with that being said, guys, I will catch you guys tomorrow. Peace.